Last time on exploiting a tragedy for money and furthering your religious agenda.
Hugo and Jake. The Bible is jaded and most of it taken, so get educated with Hugo and Jake. Pull up you and stop what you're doing. It's Bible reloaded time. They call it debated, the theorists will hate it. I'm talking to taken, but it's Hugo and Jake. So I'm with the show then. It's not candy coated. It's the Bible reloaded with Hugo and Jake. With Hugo and Jake.
Hello everyone, I am a cleanly shaven Hugo.
And I'm disappointed.
Yeah, it wasn't looking good. I wasn't liking the look, so.
You just gotta trim it. You didn't have to... I said this to you off camera. It's like a rose bush. You trim it. You don't uproot it.
Face isn't a rose bush. Anyway, we're here today to finish off I'm Not Ashamed. This is the money shot, if you will, if cum were bullets. So, I guess... Well, it is what it is. So there's not a lot to say. Here's part one, if you didn't see it already, though you should have. Yeah, let's finish this shit.
We start our review today revisiting Rachel and homeless spider tattoo guy taking communion at the youth group she forces him to go to in exchange for food. I mean, he obviously just wanted a cracker. The dude lives in an alley, for fuck's sake, like an actual alley. There's hardly any crackers in alleys, and if you do see a cracker, it's probably just some crack. I understand that the words are similar, but one is nutritious for you, and the other one is a cracker.
They also have this weird thing where they call each other brother and sister. It feels a little bit more like Jamie and Circe situation, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it does.
Did you get the job?
Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying she has an obligation to bang this guy, but between neck tat here and the Asian kid from last episode, I've come to the conclusion that her friend zone is at capacity. And because it's Christmas time, Rachel gets neck tat a thing. But what is it?
So, I got you something.
What could it be? What could it be? Did you get me a cassette tape of the hit pop song of April 1999, No Scrubs by the band TLC?
Nope.
Did you get me tickets to the hottest new movie of the year, Keanu Reeves' The Matrix?
Guess again.
Okay, you totally got me one of those new Star Wars toys that just released. I'm so excited for the movie. I hear it's gonna be a dark and gritty reboot.
Not even I hate you that much. It's a shitty journal.
Merry Christmas.
What is it?
Not even the actor was willing to sell this. I wish I could take back some of those impure thoughts now, because you just turned 17. It's okay, though. When I fantasize about people, I do it in Mexico, just in case. Me gusta.
Well, this box isn't big enough for an Acura.
Through the Lord, all things are possible, you sacrilegious piece of shit. Except jamming guns.
But it is big enough for the key.
Oh my, thank you!
You're welcome. Now, your mom and I can trust you, right? Not to do something stupid or illegal with the car.
Pinky promise.
That doesn't even mean anything.
Yes, it does. Thank you!
Wow, I have never seen such genuine apprehension toward a pinky promise before. What the hell did she make you promise to before today? Did it have to do with Mexico? Me gusta.
She, of course, immediately goes to a dangerous party full of illegal underage drinking, Way to make a likable character, PureFlix. At the party, she tries to get on the same page with the guy she likes about their relationship status.
So where do you think, like, we are right now?
In the woods?
Ooh, this kid's going places.
I feel like what we have is so good, I don't want to mess it up by putting a title on it, you know?
Girl, you better tell him a thing or two. I'm finna come over there and slap the Abercrombie and the Fitch off his white face. Was this offensive?
No,
I'm just saying, I'm sassy white friend. I'm bigger, so it's fine.
it's less offensive than the end of the movie, so I think it's fine.
Rachel and Nathan, the homeless guy, exchange the journal and talk about their issues. This Nathan character is actually based on her real-life friend, Mark Bodiford, who spoke at her funeral. This one isn't a joke. I just found it weird that they deleted Mark from the story, though it could be that he didn't want to be connected to it because, you know, it's kind of exploitative, or they didn't include him so they wouldn't have to pay him. I don't really have any clue. Look, I'm an adult, okay? I don't always have to be cracking jokes, making clever japes. I can be serious every once in a while. It's fine. I'm an adult. Okay? An adult man.
Rachel and her weird incesty friend correspond back and forth through the journal they share. Here's where a Christian and a non-religious person will see this movie through very different lenses. We see Rachel discussing how empty and numb she feels despite nothing being wrong. The movie frames this as a symptom of her secular drinking, smoking, partying lifestyle. Now, hearing these things she wrote, to me, it sounds like a high school student going through depression, and it's sad to me that a young girl who needed real help, or maybe was just going through some growing pains, is being used to sell PureFlix's regurgitated crap. P.S. If PureFlix would like to buy my middle school journal about getting strange hair down there, my opening offer is $2.5 million for the first script treatment.
Dear diary, it hurts when I pull on it.
Predictably, Rachel's stepdad finds an empty liquor bottle in the car and they all sit down to talk about her partying.
I don't like you going to these parties.
That's where people are that need light the most.
Yeah, plus where's she gonna get that dank bud?
Disappointed in her decision to drink while underage, her stepdad and Rachel's mother take the keys away as a form of punishment. This is going to mark the final straw. Rachel will then plot and execute one of the most horrific crimes in American history when she opens fire on the children of Columbine High... Hold on a second. Yeah. She didn't? Oh, she... 4 times? Okay, sorry. Are you... Wow, I really fucked that up. Okay, I didn't... No, I didn't... Okay. Ignore that. Ignore all of it.
Later at the youth group, Spider Neck Tattoo Von Homeless gives Rachel a gift of his grandfather's World War II dog tags. See what I mean? This isn't a platonic gift. This is a what kind of pancakes do you want in the morning kind of gift. Chocolate chip.
Waffles. Not pancakes, waffles.
And that's why all Jake gets his cab fare and shown to the door.
Nathan, clearly trying to get into that puss, is talking shit about, I don't know, actor kid's name. I forget his name. Adam? Alex? Aaron? I don't know his name.
I thought you said you wanted a Christian boyfriend.
He really respects my faith. He just believes in a lot of things right now.
I don't know why you mess around with that guy.
While I agree with your conclusion, Spiderweb Tattoo Guy, the way you got there is fucking retarded. The correct path to disapproval is he wears puka shell necklaces and he finger blasts Janet in the prop room.
So Rachel makes her stage debut with her pretentious playwright boyfriend.
And frankly, the play is total bullshit. It's not really worth jokes, so we're just gonna show the whole thing for you right now, and then we'll just pick up when it's done.
No, that's a patty.
That's it.
Daddy?
Embarrassing.
So homeless guy's upset about all this, so we get it. It's a love triangle. Literally just had a scene like this already. You can stop now.
I don't know what she needs you for.
Nick, stop it! What are you doing?
Isn't this movie supposed to be about a school shooting? At the play's after party, Rachel and the auteur go where all star-crossed lovers go for romance. the laundry room of some kid's parents' house.
I can't do this.
It's fine. Throw her on the washer, set it to spin cycle. You have to do barely any work. Rachel decides she isn't ready to take things to the next level and leaves, only to later go looking for her boyfriend and...
Madison? Rach, what? It just happened.
Hashtag yes all men, am I right?
So, yeah, Rachel gets twat swatted. Not really a bright side here. Dies in her virginity. You know, I got in a car accident right before freshman year in high school, and my head got banged up. I still have a scar from it. I cut an artery in my head, and not joking, one of my dying, well, what I thought was dying, I lost a lot of blood, I obviously didn't die, but one of my thoughts during that time, because I had a bad concussion, I was like in and out, was like, oh, I haven't fucked anything yet. So yeah, you think about it, and I guarantee she did too. She's like, I should have got the dick. I shouldn't have been such a fucking prude. But you were. Grab life by the dick and fuck it, guys.
I don't really respond to limitations, Rachel.
I told you that this Jesus freak thing would be an issue.
Wait, are you like a serious Christian?
PureFlix movies are exhausting. So Rachel goes to cry in her car. To repeat a joke from part 1, how could this year get any worse?
Enough of that pussy bullshit. You guys want to get fucking wild? Nothing gets the blood pumping like watching two guys in trench coats practice the murder of children. It's invigorating. So they're trying to show Rachel as sort of this like Christian crusader hero type kid, but she's not a pushy one. She's not a pushy one.
Sometimes you have to see with your heart.
Is this when you try and convert me?
Not like that.
But then she follows up her dialogue about not being pushy by following her friend off campus, a thing she said was bad, but that she is now also doing, and then intruding on this girl's life in an effort to police it. Now, there's a concerned friend who would bring this kind of shit up during a discussion, and then there's this stalker crazy shit where you follow someone home and confront them on their doorstep. This is not a good look, Christians. You want to separate yourself from the Mormons, okay? That's the Mormon thing. That's the Jehovah's Witness thing. You guys are the... You guys are the people in the asylum that don't have to wear the straitjackets and can feed themselves.
I feel like I'm fading away. Like I'm beyond repair. I don't even want to live through the night.
So, I mean, I guess her suicidal thoughts are convenient, at least.
In all seriousness, though, there is a montage of Rachel not only talking about her depression, but wanting to commit suicide. I don't know if all, most, or any of this comes from her real-life diary, but there are basically two options here. Either PureFlix are exploiting the real mental anguish of a young murdered girl to pimp out their Christian exploitation schlock, or this is entirely made up and they implied a murdered girl was suicidal when she wasn't. The real miracle of PureFlix is that they stay in sort of a superposition where each option is simultaneously worse than the alternative. After all this, Rachel has her come to Jesus moment and has an inspirational moment on that one fucking building again. Seriously, where the fuck is this building supposed to be? Is this just the picnic suicide inspirational Vista building?
So a lot of people ask why we decided to do this movie in two parts. And it's a valid question. The first honest answer is that our retention rates are lower when we have a really long video. I know some of you enjoy them, but so we decided that we'd rather make two shorter videos that you sit all the way through instead of one longer video that you see halfway through. I think that's reasonable. But the more honest, like guttural reaction to that question can kind of be answered in this clip.
So, you're not going to be a beer chugging, pot tripping, cigar puffing, drug dealing Christian?
No, I'm a God-loving, Satan-slamming, Jesus-freaking, world-changer Christian, warrior for Christ.
Now you get it.
It's gonna be like Oklahoma City, the LA riots, and World War II, all mixed into one.
Okay, guy, you killed 13 people. Let's calm down a little bit.
Yeah, like a video game.
I actually agree with the movies on this. I used to have a severe gaming problem that drove me to do unspeakable acts. Sometimes when I close my eyes, I can still hear the screams!
I've always been drawn to hands. I think it's because it's the way that we touch people.
I'm more impressed that in the 90s, the school system had enough money to justify a class of only 15 students. I demand one teacher dealing with 35 unruly, half-illiterate kids. God bless you, No Child Left Behind. God bless you.
So after her cringy speech is over, Eric and Dylan get to show their video they made for a class project.
My first instinct was to say Pureflix has officially jumped the shark on foreshadowing, but then I remembered they did turn that in as a class project, so fuck me, I guess.
Yeah, this actually was a real thing they did. They made a fucking video for film class, which wasn't what this class was in the movie, but in real life, and they actually killed bullies in white hats. It's actually pretty fucking crazy, and if you want to see the actual video, there's a link in the description. It's on YouTube. You can find it. I watched it. It's very poorly made. They were not good. It's kind of like what if Hitler was a good artist? It's the same thing. What if these guys were not shit at making edits?
They were better at shooting people than they were shooting footage, and that's not saying a lot, because they only killed like 13 people. After class, Eric and Dylan corner Rachel in a stairwell to mock her for her beliefs. I couldn't find anything anywhere saying this actually happened. At best, I found her father saying she had talked to them once about how she disliked their violent video projects. This again all plays into the film's Columbine was about Christianity v Nazi atheism evolution clusterfuck, but we'll get to all that later. Then prom happens. I don't care about prom, so we're fast forwarding through it. I don't know. I didn't go to my prom. Not a big dancer or a people person. High school was rough.
Why can't I see my future?
Movie. Rachel wasn't a fucking psychic. She was a pretentious teenager, like all of us were. If she were alive, she would be embarrassed by this nonsense. Later, Rachel asks the mentally challenged kid on a date. I can't tell if this is nice or incredibly awkward, but I'll tell you what, his genetic excess chromosome-powered penis doesn't care either way. Also, Rachel inspired the asshole jocks to be nice to him, so that sure is a thing that happens in the movie.
When the bombs blow up, it's gonna be awesome.
What a lot of people don't remember is that Columbine was actually going to be a bombing, and probably far worse. The killers planted a bomb in the cafeteria, and after the explosion, they were just going to pick off the kids while they exited the building. What happened instead is that the bomb failed to go off, so they just went in and started shooting instead. The worst part about this is that it most certainly could have been prevented. Both Dylan and Eric had been arrested before, and the police found pipe bombs that Eric had been making several months before. He also posted much of his plans and thoughts online, and now the two of them are fetishized so much that when I looked for information on them, I routinely had to avoid worship sites. I didn't look at the porn, but I'm pretty sure there's porn. I know for a fact that there's like t-shirts and shit, and there's Tumblr pages I skipped that were like, I want to fuck Eric. He's dead. You can't fuck him. He killed himself because he was fucking retarded.
Like Jake said, we see Dylan and Eric in the basement, but it's from the perspective of an old camera, leading me to believe this is supposed to be depicting the so-called basement tapes. Now, the basement tapes have never been officially released by the police, but there are transcripts of the tapes. They mention some people by name, including, quote, Rachel and Jen, you're stuck-up little bitches, you fucking little Christian godly little whores, end quote. This, of course, led Rachel's father to believe that they were targeting his daughter Rachel for her Christianity. However, he mentions the Jen and Rachel sitting next to a Nick. Rachel Scott wasn't in a class with the shooters and a guy named Nick, but Rachel Goodwin was in a class with the shooters and sat next to Jennifer Grant and Nicholas Foss. Obviously, the shooters and Rachel Scott are dead, so there's no way to verify intent. but I think it's fair to point out a lot of the backing behind the narrative of this movie was based upon false speculation on the part of Rachel's parents. The tapes do include the shooters mocking Christianity, along with other classmates, jocks, their families. It's an interesting read if you want, and if you want to see inside the heads of the shooters, it's worth checking out. My point is that, yeah, Dylan and Eric didn't like religion, they didn't like a lot of things, but there's nothing indicating that was their main motivation for the shooting, nor the actual shooting of Rachel Scott. The day of the shooting finally comes, and we see the shooters setting up their pipe bombs. They also had larger propane bombs, though, that luckily didn't go off. Rachel, seeing as though she had taken on a role in school as kind of a Christian listening ear, has a guy come up and ask if she has time to talk at lunch. She agrees as long as they can do it outside where no one will bother them. Want to hear a depressing fact about the unpredictability of reality? Rachel in real life used to spend her lunch periods in the smoking area that we've seen several times in the movie to have a cigarette. Unfortunately, before the shooting, a friend urged her to quit out of health concerns, thus placing her at the front of the school during lunchtime instead of the smoking area. Life is fucked.
13 tears. Why 13?
Okay, so in part 1, I apparently miscounted the tears in the eyes of the drawing. I said it had 12 when it supposedly has 13. Here it is again. People in the comments overwhelmingly said that the eye on the right side, which would be the left eye if it was your face, has a tear coming out of the top right corner. To which I say, fuck you! The human tear duct is located on the inner portion of the eye, and that tear is nowhere near the inside. I refuse the existence of this phantom tear, and furthermore, I reject the notion that she just sucked at drawing. I mean, that looks exactly like a columbine flower. Also, she was a prophet of God. Fuck your naysaying, heretics. Praise Jesus! So, as Hugo said, Rachel and her friend decide to sit outside on this day in order to talk about something that was bothering him.
You're going through with the divorce. It just sucks.
If you think that sucks...
Is this some kind of prank?
Go.
All right, so...
Where's your God now?
What would Jesus do?
Do you still believe in God?
No, I do.
Then go be with him.
Here's the thing. Some of you might be expecting me to go into the different accounts of what happened, whether or not they said this to Rachel specifically, or whether it was said at all. There's been all kinds of speculation on the internet and elsewhere. But here's the thing. I don't care. The movie spends almost 2 hours building up this moment of martyrdom for Rachel, framing Eric and Dylan as fervent Christian-hating atheist Nazis and Rachel as a young born-again Christian trying to help others cut down for her beliefs. But in the 2 hours they spend building their narrative, they miss the entire point. A martyr is someone who dies willingly and sacrifices oneself for their beliefs. Rachel, regardless of who she was as a person, wasn't a martyr. She was a victim, just like the other 12 people whose lives were tragically cut short by the actions of 2 people who took their anger out on others. Were their motivations based on atheism, Nazism, Darwin? I don't care. I'm not reviewing the Columbine Massacre. I'm reviewing a movie. A movie without the tact and common sense to realize using a tragedy for cheap political points undercuts everything they're trying to say. The funny thing is, when I was watching the Cinema Snob's review of this movie, I agreed with most of his points. For a Pure Flix movie, on the surface it seems less preachy. It shows teenagers drinking and smoking and doesn't say they're constantly going to go to hell for it. They have a main character, Christian, who is genuinely compassionate and non-judgmental. Take out the setting, and you have a nice movie promoting kindness, but they didn't do that. Instead, they made a tragedy a product, boxed it up, slapped a cross on it, and called it a day. Out of all the movies we've watched, I think this was the hardest to put my finger on the exact moment it went to shit. And I still don't think I can. The issue is this movie isn't a movie. It's pure exploitation, and Pure Flix, this is disgraceful even for you. And you wrote checks to Kevin Sorbo. There's more to this movie too, about 9 minutes, and it shows friends crying and mourning this fictional version of Rachel, but I flat out refuse to dignify this with a response. Fuck this movie, and fuck you, Pure Flix, I am done.
And furthermore, they decide to add text at the end, much like they did with the God's Not Dead little text your friends that God's not dead bullshit at the end of their movie. At the end of this, they say, hey, text this hotline if you want to help. So what do you think the help is? Do you think the help is to promote, bully awareness, making sure kids that get bullied get some counseling, or maybe help the homeless like Rachel did with the character Nathan in this? Or maybe it's to make sure that you have an outreach program for marginalized students in the school. No, none of that. What it is literally you text, I don't even know what the word is. It's on the screen right now. You text that to this fucking number, and it takes you to a place where you can begin to take steps to further your relationship with Christ. This movie fucking stands on the backs of these dead students to prop itself up and make money in an attempt to further an agenda. I agree with Hugo. I'm totally fucking pissed off at this movie. This movie started out fine. It was funny. It was okay. It was not terribly acted. It never stuck out like anything the Cristiano Bros have ever done. But it's so much more disappointing because it uses the fucking, like, literal dead kids. This is like making a Sandy Hook movie and then at the end going like, buy bulletproof vests. It'll stop bullets. It's totally bullshit. It's disgusting. And Pure Flix should be fucking ashamed of themselves. And I know that's sort of a joke on the name of this film called I'm Not Ashamed, but they really should. People within that organization should feel like shit because they are shit. So I didn't like the movie.
I didn't either. I never would have guessed. I wasn't sure until you said that.
I didn't like it. I don't recommend watching it. We did all the work for you. I wouldn't give this another viewing whatsoever.
No, it's not.
If you do want to watch, there are good Columbine movies. Some of them treat it like violence porn. But the thing about that, at least it's honest about what it's doing, if that makes sense. Like, the fact that you're just making a movie about a school shooting, a little distasteful. It's for me to say, of course. We made the jokes. We made the jokes at the expense of the characters in the movie, not the actual victims. But, for what some of those movies are, they're honest about it. This one is fucking subversive and trying to, it's just so like, ooh, cry about the tragedy that happened 18 years ago. And also, you could pay for our services on your quest to receive Jesus into your heart.
Well, on the bright side, after Columbine, as we all know, as a nation we came together, learned our lesson, and nothing like that ever happened again.
Yeah, we took care of gun issues as far as people that are mentally unstable getting a hold of guns. We took care of all bullying. We definitely took care of any sort of identity politics. And all that stuff is basically, thanks, Eric and Dylan. Like, you did it.
So thanks, everyone. This was a rough one. It really was. I
wasn't joking when I made the joke about the why we made two parts. Kind of it was the trudge. Mostly it was you guys don't really watch it, but some of it was definitely this movie's fucking hard to get through. It's like grindy.
But bright side, next week we're going to have another review for you for just in time for the day after Valentine's Day. Hey, timely. And that will be one part. Are you ready? Are you ready for some good old-fashioned? Old-fashioned is the name of the movie. So.
Oh, it's bad. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's good.
So, I don't know. You can always follow us on Twitter at Bible Reloaded.
You can follow Hugo Reloaded. You can also subscribe to the channel. Make sure to get the movie that movie reviews.
You can donate to our Patreon if you want to help support the show. We do a once-a-month patron-only hangout, which we should probably do soon. We'll figure out a date and let you guys know. We also do sort of a monthly Loot Crate style thing where if you donate $5 per episode, it's a signed chick tract every month. It's a different one every month. $10 is buttons, stickers. $15 is a 3D pop thing. And I think we're figuring out pens right now, but I don't know what the situation is. There was some shipping stuff because you can't send pens in envelopes because they're, pokey, I guess. Anyway, that's getting figured out. But anyway,
you're very good at explaining things to people. It's
it's
like they don't even have to think about it. They just absorb it like osmosis through your words that are so clear all the time.
So until next time, I'm Hugo.
Don't make fucking exploitation movies like this. Just don't do it. It's not good for you. It's not good for your brand.
And
It's
this
not
has
good.
been
Columbine Reloaded. Like a gun. Shoot me with it.